old friend Gary Lucas here. Totally wired on very good iced coffee. All right, so here we go. Yeah, big fun. Big fun with loops. Anyway, well, here it is, Thursday. Fantastic news about my friend Jason Candler, who, I've been banging the drum for his medical expenses and living expenses. He had a horrible series of strokes, but he's made just an amazing comeback. He's actually walking now by himself with a cane. That's what I just heard from Lily, his wife. And he can eat, again, pretty much anything. He's relearned the swallowing function. I guess they've taken the tube out of his stomach, and he looks like he will be released and not sent to a further rehabilitation center but home, in a couple of weeks. Just amazing news. But that isn't to say that the fundraising ceases, because all sorts of staggering medical bills have come in that's going to eat it up pretty quickly. And then in order to make their apartment livable for Jason in this rehabilitation phase, they're going to have to purchase a lot of special furniture and whatnot. And it all adds up. It's stuff that's not covered by insurance. And anyway, I was going to see him, but today was, somebody usurped me to bring in a bagel and cream cheese with smoked salmon on it, which sounded a good idea to me. In fact, that was exactly what I went out and purchased earlier, about an hour before this, and getting ready for this. Also, that really strong coffee. Maybe it was too strong, because it kind of affects the playing a little bit if you're too caffeinated. Muscles tend to seize up, and I find that my playing was a little stiffer. So sorry if that didn't swing as much as I'd like to, but, Caroline liked it. Okay, I got 2 thumbs up there, and she loves it. This is one of her favorite new ones. Okay, so this one is provisionally entitled Hole in Your Soul. That's just a place marker name. Soul in Your Hole? No. But that would be good for Pride Week or Pride Month. I don't know. We're working on it. I'm working on it. I've got this fantastic new project that's like the next thing I'm going to put out there, but I don't want to talk too much about it. I've been putting finishing touches on it with my partner, who shall remain anonymous until such time as we feel ready to unleash at least the first track on the world. But it's really, I'm loving it. That doesn't sound anything like anything I've ever done or he's ever done, and that's a good thing. So stay tuned, because I expect all hell to break loose. Do better. Anyway, where else? No, just keep walking. That is my motto. Now, people wonder what the origin of that phrase is, which I've adopted. It comes from, it was a novelty track from 1959 that was issued on a single under the title Ambrose Part 5. So you may think Bob Dylan was quick on the weird titles with like Rainy Day Women, number 12 and 35. No. He was scooped, he was usurped by Linda Laurie, who was a bright young comedian, and you can, check out her bio on Wikipedia. I'm not sure if she's still with us, but when she was about 22, she made this phenomenal novelty record that's one of the first things that impinged on my pre-adolescent consciousness in driving around Syracuse with my mom to like Snowflake Bakery or Grand Union and all these supermarkets my mother used to shop. And it was always tuned to, I don't know, I mean, the big rock station up there at that time was WNDR. And I was a big fan of this. So this has to be like 58 or 59, but I heard this record, I didn't understand it, but I dug the vibe, and basically what it is Linda doing both voices, a sort of a adenoidal, very broad New York City accent, little Fran Drescher-ish, and she's asking a series of questions of her more or less silent partner, boyfriend, Ambrose, a good name for a boy, of course, right up there with Vivian. And Ambrose only answers monosyllabically four syllables, just keep walking, just keep walking. In a kind of thuggish voice. This was the era of hoodlums. They have other names for him now. But he's apparently a hood. And anyway, they're walking through what turns out to be a New York City subway tunnel on the tracks. I know people still do this from time to time. I wouldn't certainly advise it of anybody. I'm not going there. Although, when I was in New York and we had the big blackout in the summer of '77, you may recall that. There were some great shots in Life magazine of the whole city blacked out with, one light on in the Empire State Building or something, that had their own power generator. There was a move among the cognoscenti to go down the subway tunnels in search of what had recently been unearthed in a series of New York Times daring exposés as the feral people, which were basically homeless bums living at the lower levels of Grand Central Station. I'm sure there's some still down there that they haven't cleaned out. But I know that my friend Bill Moseley, who you may know as Chop Top from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and other great horror opuses currently, the phone was still working, and he was like, let's go down to the tunnels, in a blackout with flashlights in search of the feral people. No, I wasn't up for that. And it's probably best that we stayed in, because all hell did break loose in New York, certainly on the Upper West Side. There was looting and whatnot. So, but anyway, Ambrose Part 5 will remind you of that era, but that was, of course, 77. In 1958, to walk through a subway tunnel with your boyfriend was probably a badge of honor. May have gotten you admitted to a girl gang or a boy gang or something. I refer you to a very good book called Tomboy. I forget the author's name. You can look this up. Tomboy comes out in that period, and it was a very vivid description of the teenage gangs of New York in a fictionalized setting. I know my sisters don't remember this, but I know a copy I found lying around the house, a cheap pulp paperback with a lurid cover, the way you like them. And I did reference this in the clip, the fan clip AAA, my friend 3XA Down Under made for One Man's Meat, which, I don't know, you should check these things out. Yes, they're amateurish, he's a great guy. We're just working with what we got, you know what I mean? I would do a slicker video if he had time and the wherewithal and a budget, but in lieu of that, hey, I think they're entertaining enough. But at the end of One Man's Meat, I do flash the Tomboy cover. Anyway, so the girl, unnamed in the opus, circling back to this, is asking her boyfriend a series of questions like, Ambrose, what do you want to be when you grow up? You want to be a doctor? And he just goes, just keep walking, just keep walking. So she's doing both voices, and she does a very convincing, low-register, thuggish voice. And another good one is, Ambrose, what do you want to be? You want to be a DJ? Just keep walking. And on it goes with a tinkling little, sort of like a piano trio, cocktail lounge jazz going in the background. And there was an answer record to this, but some people now in a new, I was going to say, what me worry context, no, me too context, find this record somehow very creepy, I guess, as if the implication is that it's referring to some sort of unhealthy pedophilic relation, maybe. I don't think so. And certainly in the era that it came out in, that wasn't even bruited about by any of the blue-nosed censorious types, of which there sure are a lot of opinionated people these days, courtesy of the internet. And yes, please check out Bo Burnham's new special, especially the song about the internet, which is blowing up. It's very funny. But I'm being brought to you courtesy of the internet, and it's the double-edged sword phenomenon here. So anyway, back to Ambrose, part 5. Check out Linda Laurie, check that out, but I took Just Keep Walking as my motto currently, and that because it's the refrain of that record, and it basically is the best advice I would give anybody who finds themselves currently in a pickle, or a jam, or a pickled jam, or preserves, or maybe early, too early to be preserved in a mummified way, who are trying to make their way in the world creatively or otherwise, hopefully creatively. Just keep walking, like one setback or a multitude of setbacks does not a lifetime of unluckiness make. Basically, you make your own luck, and you just got to keep swinging and trying, and don't give up, and you got to have heart, and all those old bromides, but true they are. Because if you really immiserate yourself and wallow in this this torpor, this tepid, the tepid waters of our current situation worldwide with this pandemic, you'll drive yourself nuts. I have some good examples of people around me, but I won't dwell on them. But I hope that they're feeling better. Anyway, we got about 5 more minutes to go. And what else are we going to say? This album that I recently acquired is a great remastered digitally version of the debut album on Deutsche Grammophon of one of my heroines, Martha Argerich, one of the greatest living pianists, one of the greatest pianists of all time, who is Argentinian born and lives, I think, in Switzerland now or France, multilingual, speaks 4 or 5 languages. She grew up in a household in Buenos Aires, and her parents, who were, I believe, Russian Jewish immigrants to Argentina, encouraged her in piano lessons, and she was already, she could read, she could hear stuff and play it back automatically at age 5. And she was a childhood playmate of Daniel Barenboim, who's another hero of mine, especially because of the Israeli-Palestinian or Palestinian-Israeli Youth Orchestra, which he's tried to keep going through thick and thin of the shifting situation in the Middle East as a gesture of goodwill and an example of possible cooperation and a way to reach common ground through music, which I always thought was the best language. It's a universal language. Everybody gets it and feels it. And it's beyond words. Music touches people so deeply. So anyway, Martha had a few setbacks early on. People didn't quite get her, and it was kind of unheard of for a brash young woman to win an award. But when she was of a tender age, she played at a festival in Warsaw, which was the annual Chopin competition. I think this is 1965, and this was after her first album had come out to great reviews. And she won this award. and the mainly Polish judges who were Chopin fanatics all said that she played it as well. Chopin would have played it, and she's just gone on from strength to strength. And last weekend she turned 80 years old, and there are clips I've posted that show her just a few months ago during lockdown, just ripping off, rattling off these pieces with the same dexterity and sensitivity of touch and power in her hands at such an advanced age. It's just miraculous and a testament to the power of will and a certain fortitude of spirit, which has kept her at the top level still on keyboard. But as I say, there was not a mention of this except on the internet. I didn't see it in the newspapers here. But happy birthday, Martha! Just a tremendous performer and interpreter. She's one of the greatest modernist and romantic pianist that ever was. Her interpretations of the music is sublime. She rarely, if ever, trips up on the keyboard. Once in a blue moon she might not hit that note, but very rarely. And her power is still undiminished. One other clip I'd point you to is a four-handed version of Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring, which was prepared as a rehearsal version back when the earliest ballet was being prepared by Diaghilev, with Nijinsky dancing the role and Stravinsky being the young Turk composer who got the gig to write the music. And there's a clip of Barenboim and his childhood friend Martha playing this, the whole thing transcribed for piano, which is the most percussive, dissonant, modern thing I've ever heard, and lyrical, and it's still great. So you should see that. And that is about it. Okay, I'm back to the drawing board. I gotta call my partner in this thing to comment on the latest mixes he's been sending me, which are stunning. And I hope you have a great day. Love you guys, and I'll see you on Saturday at 3 p.m. unless I'm usurped again.